In this appendix video, we'll look at a somewhat obscure but important aspect of the modifier or leadership system, stacking boosts that increase experience or XP gain for normal units, heroic units, and heroes. In other words, we'll see modifiers that make all these different kinds of units level up fast. We'll look at both the vanilla game and AOTR, starting very briefly with the vanilla game. We'll look briefly at vanilla because, simply put, you cannot stack experience in the game at all for any unit type. This goes back to what we explored in the beginning of the main series, that no leadership modifier stacks, and this includes experience stacking. Here we have 4 heroes in the Men of the West faction. All read the exact same thing for their leadership descriptions, offering plus 50% experience gain for nearby units. As in parts 1 through 5 of the main series, we'll use the basic Tier 1 Gondor swordsmen, but this time up against themselves. Unfortunately, there is no way to show only experience boosts apart from having damage and armor boosted as well, so as to show the impact experience boosts alone can make, but this actually works to the advantage of this video, as you'll see a marked difference when we get to the AOTR section later in this video. So let's watch the matchup. As you can see, the troops only go over level 2 at most, which is certainly more than if they did not have any experience boost at all, but you can see it does not stack for each of the 4 heroes involved. But even the 1 experience boost does not work on heroic units at all, and for heroes, there is no experience stacking whatsoever either. Now let's turn to AOTR. Let's first start with a normal swordsman unit. We'll work with an already familiar unit from part 6 of the main series, the Lamadon Clansmen, but we'll have them up against themselves this time to show clearly how impactful experience stacking can be, as the matchup will be even without any advantage of one side over the other. We'll use just one hero, Gondor's hero, Forlong. He is a beginning game hero who offers only experience boost leadership for these troops. The clansmen count as fiefdom units. No damage or armor boosts here. Let's see how this goes. Of 60 enemy units remain. As you can see, experience boosts don't necessarily go a long ways on their own in a 1-for-1 matchup, especially with a relatively low percentage of boost like Forlong's. Ideally, you really need to have a somewhat higher number of troops than the enemy, or stronger troops than the enemy, or stack the boosts. Here we'll use Prince Imrahil and Gandalf. Gandalf provides a pretty significant boost in experience gain, and so does Imrahil with his inspiration ability alone, but together, a massive experience stack. To keep the fight from having any damage or armor boosts, I'll remove Imrahil from the sphere of influence, as he would buff out the clansmen in that way. But he'll use his Inspiration experience boost ability before leaving the area. Gandalf provides no damage or armor boosts though, so he'll stay nearby for the experience gain, and we'll keep Forlong with him to show the full stack. Let's see how it goes with just experience stacking. "23 of 60 units remain for my clansmen this time. The experience stack alone, without any damage or armor boosts, almost perfectly turned the tables on my enemy. As you recall, the enemy had 24 units before. But you'll notice that my troops are all level 4 and 5 from this encounter, and with this specific unit, this is a big advantage to them because they get armor at level 4. As you can see, this is a powerful difference from what the vanilla game has to offer with experience boosts. Recall from the beginning of the video that even with damage and armor boosts included, the Gondor troops of that game only made it a bit higher than level 2, and with 4 heroes behind them. Experience boosts alone make a big difference in performance in AOTR. Just one more reason to strategize carefully for exceptional stacking of modifiers. Take this experience gain into consideration whenever you use virtually any hero with leadership, as most heroes have the experience boost with them. Even many structures like fortresses with banner upgrades or heroic statues have this, and all stack with hero experience boosts. Try luring the enemy into certain areas where you have structures with such leaderships and heroes. As mentioned before though, normal units are not the only ones to be affected by experience stacking. Heroic units are as well. Let's see how Gondor's Swan Knights do with experience gain against another host of Lamedon clansmen, just to keep it simple and quick. They don't gain much experience from early game units, so this will be all the more impactful later. Let's watch.
Knights of the Silver Swan, rest out! Brisbane Lancers! Now take them this way! Rally together, Knights! Knights!
As you can see, the one battalion of Swan Knights didn't even get to level 2, while the other just barely got past the level 2 mark. Now let's see how they do with just Imrahil and Gandalf's experience boosts. Imrahil will be used in the same manner as before.
Heed my words, men of Gondor. Move on. Ride out! Must stand quickly! This way, Lancers! Knights of the Silver Swan! Knights! Rally together, Knights!
Big difference with just experience stacking. Even against beginning game units, they rank up to level 5 in seconds. So imagine how they would perform against upper tier units and how much experience that they could gain. Experience stacking is a key way to quickly rank up such vital units, allowing for better survivability and more quickly accessing special abilities than the enemy would. Now let's look at how experience boosts affect heroes, the last remaining unit type of this video. This is a bit of a different thing than the other two units because of how much rarer and harder it is to do. Not every faction has a hero experience boosting hero, and heroes do not have their experience boosted by virtually any structure at all. For brevity, we'll look at just Gandalf, given he has the blast power that causes pretty good AoE splash damage and instant death to many units. We'll see him use it against a cluster of 4 of the clansmen, none leveled up. Let's see his experience gain.
Return to your pits!
Not too bad. A few abilities were unlocked, but with teamwork, he can go much farther. For Gondor, there are 2 heroes that provide hero experience gain, Pippin and Forlong, but I want to see what good teamwork would do, so let's bring in Galadriel, Arwen, Balin, and Halbarad. This is a fairly unrealistic bit of teamwork, but it works for this demonstration. Here are all the abilities that will be used. When playing each of these factions, ordinarily you want to have each of these heroes close by key heroes you want ranked up relatively quickly, or at least quicker than your enemy is ranking up his, usually best for endgame heroes. Now, let's watch how much experience Gandalf gains this time.
Return to your pits!
Level 10 in just a few seconds. Not something you'll typically see, needless to say. Granted, depending on the kinds of units clumped up, like heroic units especially, you might be able to do something that incredible without experience boosts, but this is just demonstrating what you can do with them in full for a hero in AOTR, as hero experience boosts are not possible at all in vanilla. In a typical game, any boosting of heroes' experience is normally going to be slow and gradual throughout a match, but obviously faster than without the boosts. With planning and patience, you'll be able to get your heroes leveled up fast and be that many steps further ahead than your enemy. Just be sure to watch those boosting heroes closely and keep them alive. As we've seen in this video, experience boost stacking is not possible in the vanilla game for units of any kind, including normal units, heroic units, and heroes. But in AOTR it works quite strongly for all of the above, stacking without limit for incredible possibilities and dynamics in either solo play or teamwork.